When my sister, storytelling. Then, she lowered her voice and muttered, when will you stop being so selfish, Sophie? Are we supposed to stand by and watch Danielle die, just to satisfy your vanity? How could you be so cruel? She banged against the door heavily as she spoke. Suddenly, her hand froze midair. Then, she frowned and murmured, why is it so cold? With that, she turned the doorknob. Once again, the door opened a crack to reveal a corner of my school uniform. Just then, Dad called Mom and asked, why aren't you back yet? Danielle is waiting for her water. Mom hesitated for 2 seconds before releasing the doorknob. I'm dealing with you after the exams, she muttered before returning to leave. In the freezer, my lifeless body remained leaning against the door, while my hand was frozen mid-knock. I floated in the air and watched her walk away in despair. You were just a single turn away, Mom. If you'd just turned around, you would have found my body that night. Danielle texted me immediately after learning that I was still locked in the freezer. Sophie, Mom said the key is hidden under the doormat. Hurry up, unlock the door and get something to eat. I left some food for you in the kitchen. You've had a sensitive stomach lately, so make sure to heat it up before you eat. Danielle always remembered that I had severe stomach issues. Over the years, whenever I was locked in the freezer, she would always find a way to get me food. She had even placed a teddy bear in the freezer and hid snacks inside its plump, chubby belly just for me, floating in the air. I looked at the teddy bear and noticed that its stomach was stuffed full. Danielle had hidden food for me in advance, but unfortunately, I would never be able to eat it again. The next morning, Danielle checked her phone the moment she woke up. When she noticed that I still hadn't replied, she frantically ran to Mom. I texted Sophie to tell her where the key is, but she hasn't answered. Do you think she left her phone somewhere? You have a security camera installed in the freezer, don't you, Mom? Please let me check on her. Mom frowned. Sophie is calculative. She must be doing it on purpose just to make you worry. Still, she pulled out her phone and opened the security camera app, loading the freezer's live feed onto the screen. On the screen, I was seen with my back to the camera. Danielle immediately leaned in and yelled, Sophie, the key is right under the mat, and there's food in the kitchen, so just heat it up. Please don't starve. When I didn't respond, Mom frowned and chimed in, if you finally come to your senses, get out of there and eat. Stop making Danielle worry yet. I remained motionless with my back still facing the camera. Danielle panicked and pressed her face closer to the screen. Sophie, are you sick? Please just turn around so I can look at you. Okay, even Mom's expression changed. She immediately zoomed in on the feed and noticed that I was curled up tightly in the corner. Under the dim, bleak lighting, I was shaped like a frozen shrimp. She stared at the feed for 2 seconds before sighing in relief and letting out a cold laugh. You're pulling this stunt again, aren't you? As a kid, I used to pull such tricks all the time just to grab her attention. She automatically assumed I was doing it again. We've told you where the key is, Sophie. If you have even a shred of conscience, get out of there right now and don't ruin Danielle's exams. With that, she locked her screen and tossed the phone aside. I smiled bitterly. Mom, if you'd just looked for 3 more seconds or zoomed in a little more, you would have noticed that my chest wasn't moving at all. You were so close to realizing that I was dead. When the final exam ended, Danielle was the first candidate to sprint out of the exam hall. Mom, Dad, I did really well. I'm going to be okay. Let's go home and share the good news with Sophie right now. Dad nodded. As he started his car, his eyes turned red-rimmed. Great. Now that it's all over, let's go home. Sophie had been home alone for 2 days. She'd probably had enough time to clear her